Yo, what's up guys? Jesse Flair here from Flair Parkour and Team Tempest. Today, we are doing a tutorial on the turn vault. Cool. It's a very simple move that can be used and utilized quite a bit throughout your movement while doing any sort of parkour or free running. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so first things first, I think before starting this move, you should definitely have some understanding of how to get up and over an object. Your first progression, I think, would be a safety vault. I'll put that tutorial link right here. And assuming that you've already learned that, let's move on. So the safety vault can actually be used as your progression to move up and over, just to get your confidence and be safe. Though our ultimate goal is to go up and over the rail, the safe ways to try this and progress into it is by starting on the edge, so that if you're not getting enough height, you could always come around like this. Okay? Then you can have a friend tell you whether or not you would have had enough height and clear it. Cool. Now that you've found a rail that is good for you, good height, about waist high, but you could always progress this rail higher and higher. You could always do it into a softer surface like grass or sand, or you could just go for it. Now let's start to talk about the positioning of your hands. This is probably the most important part of this move, because understanding why it works is really in the way that you hold it. So one hand will face down, one hand will face up. Whatever hand that faces up will actually be the hand that you're turning around. So if my left hand is up, I'm going to jump and turn left. If my right hand is up, I'm going to jump and turn right. Not too hard to understand. Now that we know the position of our hands, we can start to learn on how to jump up and over the rail. Now, one would assume that you're just going to jump straight up and try to get over. But in actuality, it's more of like a catapult effect. By keeping your arms long, leaning back, and pushing a slight bit backwards, you can actually use your arms to generate a little bit forward momentum, so that the whole body catapults up and over just like a catapult normally would. You let it go. So bend into it by pushing yourself up through the legs and using a bit of arm strength to pull you up and over. You're here. And that gives you the jump you need. So now let's talk about centering yourself and where you need to be to balance your body and make it easier for you. So what's important to note about this position is as I start to come up and around, my chest is already over the bar. As I start to do the 180, my chest continues to stay over the bar, actually going back over until I decide that I'm clear. My second hand comes on and I begin to lean back to get my foot placement down and in control for grip. Cool. Let's check it out from another angle. So notice how in this view you can actually see that my body is starting to move over my left hand. It's not just going directly around it. I'm centering my arm right in the center of my waist as I come up and around. So now maybe you've got the pop, you still can't get your feet or hand back on. So you're kind of looking like this. That's a good place to be, because from here, we can start just to get that hand on, find it. Even if we don't land back on the edge, what we are doing is we're training ourselves to get that second hand on to be in a safe position. Now, the key to getting those feet on in a real comfortable way is, especially on a rail, is leaning back. When we do it on a wall, it's going to be a bit different, and I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But on a rail, you actually want yourself to come falling back out, so that when my feet do hit, I'm going to have nice, good grip, because all the energy is getting pushed into my feet. Cool? Let's check that out. So one of the keys to spotting your landing is to spot it. As you come over, when you get up and over the rail to about here, and your body's in a nice centered position over that left hand, you can already see exactly where you want your feet to go. And from there, hand comes on, lean back, and stick those feet down right where you want them to land. You can see it halfway through the move, or even a little bit more than halfway through the move. So you will have a great view of exactly where you want to go. And that's a pretty important detail, because in life, if we don't know exactly where we want to go, it's pretty hard to get there, okay? So be certain, know exactly where your feet should be, and it'll be a lot easier to get them there. Cool? Another thing to note is that I'm not actually traveling all the way across the rail. I want to actually stay as close to my starting point as possible. So if I'm spinning left or rotating left, when I come, I don't want to land over here. I want to actually stay pretty close. So if this is my center, the same distance that I'm starting here at will probably be the same distance I land at, okay? So if I'm here, back, hop, and that's where you end up. All right, so next up, I'll show you guys some slow-mos, and that's it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share this with anyone you think might be able to use it. And Jesse Flair from Team Tempest. Check you later. Peace! If you're doing it on a ledge, the only difference is hand positioning. You don't have to go completely backwards or obviously upside down, just doesn't make sense. Start your hands, a little rotation around this one, and a lot less speed because we want to end in a front support. So as we come up, we're here. Then we could drop down into cat or here. And that's it. Cool.